Hey y'all, I'm Delaina Burns and I'm with you tonight for Flying Unicorn, and I'm going to be sharing a small 8x8 canvas that I've stenciled on, used tons of the metal adornments from Flying Unicorn, and lots of bloom sprays. So I just really quick want to go over a few announcements before we get started. Be sure and check out the store. Everything that I'm using tonight that's still in stock will be 10% off. If you go to the Flying Unicorn store and then to Ustream specials, you'll see all the specials that are there. I just got several things in stock that I'm using. Some of the adornments, some of the bloom sprays. There's a canvas there, and anyway, several things that I'm actually using. I'll be using some rub-ons and some small little pearl pieces too. Right now the Unicamp is kind of all the chatter everywhere. Alda is planning a big Unicamp in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, so be looking for details on Flying Unicorn's Facebook around mid-February. She's going to have a sign up for that. Sign up quick. I'm sure it's going to fill up very fast, so be sure and sign up for that. Next week, Song's going to be with us, so y'all be sure and tune in same time, same place next week, and see something beautiful that Song makes. It's always really pretty. So right now I want to go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you one more time the project that I'm going to be creating, and you can see I've used 5 different colors of sprays on here. A lot of the adornments from the Flying Unicorn store are attached here. A little photo of my sweetie grandbaby and my daughter-in-law, and I've used some rub-ons and a few pearl accents. So I want to go ahead and pan down. Y'all bear with me just a second. I've had some problems with my camera and I've worked with it, so I hope that we don't have a problem tonight. So I'm going to kind of try to guard the camera. If you get seasick, close your eyes for a minute until I get you panned down. Okay, I got you down. I just want to kind of turn it around now so that it's right side up for you. Oh my goodness, I think it worked fast tonight. I think I did it. I think I did it quick. So let me adjust my cords here so that I don't have cords hanging down in my face. And I'll stop wiggling it in just a minute, but let me straighten you up just a little bit and bring you toward me. Well, I told you I was doing good, and now I've gotten carried away, but give me just a minute. Okay, I'm going to adjust the table now. I'm going to stop moving the camera, and I will adjust the table to actually match. Let me know if you're having a problem. Somebody text me and let me know if there's a problem with the screen going dark, or anyway, just let me know if you're having a problem. I am going to be working on white for a while, so what I'm going to do is put a few of the adornments in view here, so the camera will focus on something. You can just kind of take a look at these pretty adornments I'm going to be using here in just a few minutes, and I've just got quite a variety of different ones. The first thing I want to do is start off with our stencil. I have already covered the actual canvas in a coat of gesso and dried that. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my canvas and I'm going to actually mix a little bit of modeling paste. I'm using Prima's modeling paste, and I've got Prima's white, heavy white gesso. The modeling paste dries a little opaque, and I want a little more white in there. So what I'm going to do is scoop out some on my little non-stick mat here, and I'm going to add a little bit of the white gesso just to give it, and you see I didn't scoop out very much. I want just a little bit, so you can see only about that much kind of on my spatula, and I'm just going to kind of mix that in, and that's going to be a little bit whiter base. It's not going to dry so opaque, and it's also going to help the bloom spray adhere a little better. It does adhere well to the modeling paste, but I kind of wanted the white to peek through a little bit. If I do have any color, I didn't really want it opaque, so I just really quickly mix that together. And I'm going to line up my stencil here, and I want this stencil pretty straight. This is the Teresa Collins stencil, and it's called Essential, and you can see it's got three different patterns in it, and I don't know if you can see the patterns or not, but because I've still got it in the cellophane packaging. But anyway, it comes with 3 stencils, so it's a really good kind of a bargain. You get 3 for 1, and it's really pretty designs. I kind of like this diamond sort of pattern here, and I'm going to line it up pretty straight, and just really quickly I'm going to cover the entire thing with just a thin coat of the modeling paste mixed with the gesso. Alda wants to know if I'm going to be using peony. Yes, I'm going to be using peony. I love that word all of a sudden. It's easier to say than it is to spell, and y'all are saying it wrong. It's peony. I know, I understand that in other parts of the world it's probably pronounced peony, but here in Alabama it just comes real natural, and obviously in Texas too, because Robbie says peony as well. So my mother had peonies in her garden, so it's peonies. Anyway, I've got to stop saying that. Y'all are going to think and I really do, that really is how I pronounce it, but I can be corrected, and I can say peony, and I do occasionally slip up and say peony, but it rolls off the tongue a little more natural. And I am just giving this just a kind of a light coat. I want to scrape this off, and this particular stencil I don't want to leave the paste on, so I'm going to clean my stencil up really quick, and you can see when I lift it, you've just got that really pretty pattern. So I'm going to take a baby wipe, and I'm going to clean this up just a little bit, so give me 1 second. I love this stencil, and these are not liking being left. They're a little thinner, and they don't like having the paste and things left on there. They're not working so well for me when I go back to use them if I leave them and let them dry, so not so easy to clean. So just be sure when you've used them, at least wipe off the thickness of what you have left. Oh, and that's the same comment. Sorry, I didn't move my phone. Y'all can kind of see. I better move my phone out of the way in case I get a little more colorful text. I don't know who would do that, but you never know. We are live. So I'm going to go ahead and clean my hands up a little bit, and I'm going to clean up some of my mess here. I normally don't make y'all watch me clean, but I just kind of want to get this up and out of the way. Just kind of clean up my spatula, because in a minute we're going to be moving on to our color, and this is going to be a pretty quick thing tonight too. Drying is going to be sort of probably the time-consuming part of this, because it's a really quick project, but with the actual little metal pieces being so intricate and so unique, I've been wanting to do it for a while, because ever since I got the first package from Alda, I have really wanted to use them and showcase them kind of on their own. So give me just a minute. I'm going to dry this, and I got a new heat tool. I've been using a blow dryer like Robbie did last time, and it works really fast, but the Tim Holtz, the Ranger tool, is so quiet that I wanted to use it tonight, and I've not used it very much today, so I just hope it is quick. I hope it dries pretty fast, so we will see how that works for us. But you can see First layer is a layer of gesso over your canvas, and this can be any size canvas. I love the little 8x8s. I like the little square frames for them, and I'm kind of finding them just in bargain bins, different places, and painting them or whatever. But you can also use, of course, a standard size 8x10, 5x7, whatever you you want to use, whatever size you like. You can get these and mat these and just kind of whatever you want to do with them. But I don't know that you can tell it because it's like white on white, but that modeling paste is white now. It's not drying opaque, and that's exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted a little more white in there this time. So you know what, this worked really fast, so I think that is good for that. So the next thing I want to do is just start layering my adornment pieces, and I knew I was going to have problems opening this one. I can never find the little flaps when I need to, so just want to kind of start layering my frames. And what I did is I layered like these two bigger ones. This comes with 5 frames, kind of in this oval shape, and then this extra one. I'm just going to put the extra one to the side because I'll use that for another time for something else. Right now I just want to use the kind of oval shaped ones. And this particular one here I'm going to pop up on a piece of paper, and it doesn't really matter what you pop it up on. It's going to kind of be color bloom sprayed anyway, so I'm just going to grab a piece of kind of neutral, and I'm actually looking for something a little neutral here in my little paper bin. So let me grab something a little neutral, and I think this will work right here. I'm just going to use just a kind of a piece from, I think this is the old Princess line, but it's just kind of neutral, and I want to just kind of lay it down and cut around. Just want to kind of cut around. I want to kind of keep an eye on the time as well, but just kind of eyeball it and cut around so that you can't see it from the front, but so that you have enough in the back to actually glue down. You want a little bit to kind of glue down. So what I'm going to do is just for all 5 of these, just going to cut just a little piece. So just, I should have done this ahead. I didn't think about doing these ahead, so I should have done that. I'm going to take these glasses off now that I'm not trying to read so intently, and y'all will just have to forgive me. I get busy and I just cannot pay attention. If it's something I need to know, have all to text me. That'll be fine. Now that I've said peony, that's so funny. Peony. Y'all don't think that sounds better? I just think that sounds better. I don't know. It just, peony just does not roll off the tongue. You see, we're going to do all 5 of these. Okay. That is that. So I'm going to grab my glue and just really quickly give it a quick, and I'm going to have to go around this table and get my other bottle of glue. In fact, let me do that. Let me grab my other bottle of glue because I will be needing more than what I have in this bottle. So let's use this bottle of glue here. Now this larger frame here, this is the frame that I actually put my photo in. So I'm going to leave the glue on here just a little loose on the back. And just going to put a dab here at the top because I'm going to actually pull this once all my spraying is done and add a photo. So, and you kind of want to do that even with yours because you don't want to get spray on your photo. We're going to actually spray all these. So let's just keep adding And with these, I'm going to add a little bit at the bottom and the top. I'm not real bothered if a little bit of glue is kind of stringy. We're going to cover these with gesso, and so that doesn't bother me. I'm going to lay the frame here. I hope y'all are not going blurry. I don't think it is. I actually think it's cooperating. I've got the light down a little low. I think that's helping. For those of you recording later, I think the light being not so bright helps when you're using white. And I tend to want to use white. I've got a little bit of this showing, so I'm going to snip just a little bit of that. So you can see I'm just going to move on and just add some glue. I meant to add a little bit here too, so let's add a little bit there. And I'm just adding a little bit at the top and the bottom. You don't need a lot. Fabri-Tac works on metal, so I'm using Fabri-Tac tonight, and it definitely works with the metals. Papers, metals, it is the wonder glue. Works really, really well. I love it. But it does string. You'll have strings everywhere. It sticks to your fingers, and I have gel on tonight on my nails, but if you're wearing regular acetone fingernail polish, it will remove your fingernail polish. So just be aware. Okay, I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of cardboard to go behind my my bigger frame here. I just want to pop it up off the table just a little. I'm getting little pieces of paper I want to remove. I want to pop this up just a little bit. And I'm going to actually add this to the back of the frame, but just remember, we're going to add it to the back of this paper, and we're going to be removing this entire piece of paper when we add our photo, so that your cardboard will still be kind of attached back there. So just kind of want to add that. And then you've got four different little frames here, but two are the same. So there's two pairs. So kind of want these two larger ones. One kind of just tucked under right about here. Just kind of offsetting. You know, I'm asymmetrical, I guess. I kind of offset everything to the left, or I tend to do that. So I want to kind of just add these frames, and I'm just kind of peeking at what I've done. Tuck this one in behind, and I've got a little too much cardboard here to tuck, so I'm going to just go in and cut a big chunk out of that cardboard. That way I've got plenty of room to tuck in behind. So you can see I'm going to be able to tuck in this one at the bottom, and then tuck this one in here, and I'm going to have this one right about here. I'm going to lay these out really quickly because I've done this. I kind of know the shape that I want. And what you want to do is just get a basic shape going for your actual design. And I kind of just wanted it kind of through the middle and kind of over here. No right or wrong way to do it. You do it like you like it. Totally up to you. I am going to use a few different pieces tonight. I don't like everything to be exactly the same, so I'm going to try a few different pieces. So this is a little bit different here, this butterfly. I want to kind of put it here. And Alda at one time or another has had these adornments. You might have received them in your kits. I've gotten them, you know, in different times and for different things. I actually purchased some. I just really do. I really do like the adornments. They are they're some of these little pieces are just so intricate, like the little bird cage with the little bird. You can see the little bird in there. Love him. So and you can kind of theme these if you want to do like all keys, or if you wanted to do all little girl pieces, or I mean, you can just, you know, it is absolutely up to you kind of what you want to do. So I'm just trying to remember how I actually had these. I think I had a heart here, and I just filled my little frames with other small pieces. So a little clock in this one, and we had a little lock, little metal lock in this one. So, and then I had a little perfume bottle in this one. And you can see these pieces are so intricate. It makes for such a cool design. And like, you know, when somebody comes over and this is hanging on your wall, or if you give it as a gift, it's just got so much detail to kind of look at and share. And like I said, theme it up or whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. It is. And this key has a little heart. I think I'm out of somebody tell me if I get out of camera again. So just want to kind of lay these out just about like this. I'm going to kind of change these around till they kind of fit. Make my eyes happy. How they're sort of working out. This butterfly is a little bit bigger than what I use, so I'm going to change the design up just a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of cover this area. Love the little clothes hanger. Look at the little clothes hanger with a little ruffle at the top. It's really cool. And these are actually, they can be used as pendants. They have the little or the little trinkets. So they have the little metal rings at the top so that you could dangle them. And anyway, they're really cool. The little teapot with the little teacup is so cool. Look at that. Look how intricate. And it's actually got some etching, little swirled etched pieces. Absolutely adorable. So you can see I'm just kind of, I don't know if I'm going to use that piece or not. Maybe going to use this bigger piece right about here. And y'all are going to see it is definitely a little bit different than the other one. I did love the little telephone. It's even got a little dial. And you can almost see the numbers, the little holes where you used to put your fingers, the old-timey telephone that you actually dial. Very cool. Very, very cool. Got a little purse. Love, y'all got to get some of these. Love these. So let's add our purse. I don't know if we really going to have room for all of this, but anyway, I'm going to try. I kind of am liking this. This is kind of this design. I got a little bicycle here. I've got a little heart. Got a little fan. This is a little bit different. Got a little fan here. Might be able to kind of, maybe not, kind of fit the fan in. But y'all can see I'm just kind of adding this sort of where I want it, where it kind of balances for me and makes me happy. So I think that's about it right there. I think I kind of like that right there. I do have a few pieces left over that I'm not going to use, but I'm thinking that right there does make me happy. I do have a few more little metal pieces that I want to go in and add to. So just going to lay these to the side. In fact, I'm going to scoop them off my table so I don't throw them in the floor because I don't want to lose them. So just put those to the side. Next, I want to use these little K & Company. They look like little studs. Some are square, some are round, and they're sort of intricate as well. I like these to kind of fill in a couple of places. And I want to grab my little cutter bee scissors because these have a little strip of adhesive between each one that I want to kind of cut away, because you could actually pull these off in one long string, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to periodically, I'm not really even sure where I had these on that one. In this design that I'm working with, this stencil, it's got a little center to these little diamond shapes. So I'm going to kind of go to the center of those little shapes whenever I add a piece like this, just sort of for a little extra interest, a little more detail and observation on that little shape. Want to kind of place this in the diagonal so that it looks kind of like a little diamond shape, sort of mimics our actual stencil shape. And those are just kind of little details that I like to do. I just kind of like to give it a little bit of reason for why you're doing certain things. And these are already sticky. Probably be a good idea to add a little bit of extra glue. And you can add the glue after you've painted them with the gesso, and even after you've used the bloom spray. They're going to stick, but they may not hang on your wall for a long time unless you use some form of extra glue. So just be sure and add that. I want to add one of the round ones, and I'm not going to add a lot of these. I actually hoard these because I love these. It's one of my favorite little pieces to add. I like to add them. color that they are. I love this brassy color, but today we are going to first make them white, and then we will, I want to add one just right to the top of this key, just for a little more detail on that key. And you can do that. You can layer them up, just makes them really pretty. I'm going to add one more right about here. Okay, so that feels balanced to me. I think I kind of like that. It feels like it's pretty balanced. I don't think I'm loving this one right here. And you are welcome to kind of move these around. So I think I might just add him right about there. That kind of works for me. And I don't know why that shape right there is making me happy, but it is. So what I'm going to do now is just go in behind each one of these pieces and add a little bit of Fabri-Tac to glue them down. And this is a really quick process. Normally, this is a really quick process. So just behind each piece, I'm going to add some glue and try to get it back where it started. So if you shift them a little bit, totally okay. Not a problem. Some of these more open pieces, you may have a little bit of stringy glue showing. Just going to kind of add them to the tops and around here. But don't worry about the strings. When it dries clear, and you can pull the strings away just like you do hot glue. So the strings don't bother me. These more open pieces, just sort of dab your glue there, and like I said, you can wipe away the strings when you're done. And if you do have glue showing, it's clear, so don't stress over it. And each one of these will have just a minute to dry. That's kind of what you want them to do, is dry before you start with your color bloom sprays. Or really before you start with your gesso. We're going to do an entire coat of gesso over all these. So everything's going to be kind of turned white. I hope the camera does not go crazy, but we'll lay some more metal down if it starts to get wonky. And I'm not going to glue down that center frame. I'm going to leave it there so that it can be sprayed with the bloom sprays. But I'm not going to glue it down, because I am going to go back and add a photo. So that's kind of what you'll want to do. Just kind of leave it and go back later once it's dried. Once you've got your bloom sprays on, remove that piece of paper there and add your photo in and behind. Just want to put a little glue behind this one. I'm sort of missing a few of them that I've not glued, so go in and behind here with this one. Add a little glue behind our key. This is one of my favorite, behind this lock. I love the shape of this little lock. It's just really pretty. And this Fabri-Tac, if an E6000, I think that's what it's called, that would stick this metal. Just be sure to use a strong glue, because if you hang this on your wall, sometimes the heat, I'm not quite getting glue at the bottom of this where it's sticking, so I got strings everywhere. So I'm going to add a little more just to the bottom, because I want it to stick to the bottom of this frame, kind of like so. Use my scissors. These non-stick scissors help to keep that glue from picking everything up. So add a little glue behind our little purse here. I love this little purse. Cute stuff. A little more behind our phone. I'm telling you, this is such an easy project. You'll want to just keep making them. You can do so many different designs and so many different themed pieces that you can use. And if you really get into theming these, and at one time Alda had some beachy ones. I mean, you could, the sky's the limit with them, because they are just so, they're so cool. I'm just trying to wipe my strings away as I go. So add a little bit more here. I wish I could be reading. Oh gosh, the chat is like so far behind for me. That's so weird. Chat is not keeping up at all. Is this the Mad Crafter lady? I don't know your name, but I can see you're here. Welcome to Unicorn. We are live, and unfortunately, live means you got to bear with me and getting through all this gluing. Sorry. That's the time-consuming part, and we are going to move on any minute with the painting, and the fun part is the misting. So, watching paint dry, that's never fun. But y'all can see this is no big deal of a project. Easy peasy. And if you've got some peony spray, you are great. You're good to go. And I know Alda's got some sprays in there. Y'all don't forget to take advantage of the 10% off. Everything on tonight's show that's in stock, you can grab it. Go to Flying Unicorn store and then go to Ustream Specials and grab you some of this while it's on sale. To make some early Christmas presents or make yourself something. Just, these things are really cool to make. Okay, I think we've got everything glued down. You want to kind of put this in place and put it where you want it, because once we start actually spraying, you're going to have a little white area behind where you didn't spray. So once you glue it, you'll know right where to put it back. So what I'm going to do now is grab just a little sponge brush. This came in a kit at some point, so and I'm going to use the heavy white gesso again. So what I'm going to do is just put a glob on the actual brush, and then I'm just going to start sponging it on the actual metal. And this is a pretty quick process too. Just pounce it on. This is sort of the fastest way I figured out. Now, as you're pouncing, some of these pieces may come loose. Once your gesso has dried, you can go in and add a little bit more glue. So just pounce away. I'm going to actually remove this to add the gesso, just so I've got a little bit of control and can hold on to it. So you just want to be sure to get it in all the nooks and crannies. And I'm dipping it in there, and then I'm sort of pouncing a little bit of it off before I start. And if you've got a little, if it's a little thick and you got a little buildup, just sort of stamp off your sponge on your mat and or on a piece of paper or just whatever, and just be sure to get all that metal covered. And go back into your other pieces and just pounce away. Our heart is not wanting to stay down, so that's fine. We'll go back in. It's probably because it's not, we're not able to glue it a lot because of it's not touching the metal everywhere. So I'll just move it and move on to this piece. But you can see how fast this is. Just pounce away and get all that metal white. Make sure it all turns white. I didn't use this piece on my last one, so I'm going to actually go in with a small paintbrush and get that. Just going to kind of go in, and if you can't get it all while you're pouncing, just go in with a paintbrush like this and just pounce with your paintbrush just to get everything. And you want a nice, pretty even coat of the gesso, because we're going to actually spray these with the bloom sprays, and the sprays are not going to stick real well to just the metal. They're going to do a lot better if you've got a coat of gesso. And even though you're getting it on the back of your, or on the actual canvas itself, since it's already white, it's going to be totally fine. for that to be on there, because again, that's going to be sprayed too. So if you're getting it on your canvas and you think like it's kind of building up, just pounce it down. You want it all pretty flat, but and then your pieces may get a little crooked, so just kind of adjust them. Add your larger frame back kind of where it's going to be. Let's see what time we've got here. Okay, yeah, we got time. We're doing good. So got about 20 minutes. We shouldn't need more time than that. So okay, that is about what we're going to do. We'll put my paintbrush in some water and my little sponge brush in a little water, and I want to kind of wipe up our mess a little bit so we can begin our spraying process. It's a really fast project. Oh, let me hold on to this as I'm wiping so we don't have it sliding all over the place. Love the nonstick mat. Even if this gesso dries, it just wipes right away. So, and up under that, of course, y'all know I'm using my Prima mat. I love this self-healing Prima mat. I actually think Alda still has a few of these mats in the store as well. Black on one side, blue on the other. They're huge. They're like 26. They're like 19 inches by 26 inches. So they totally cover the surface of your table. I really do like them. I want to be sure that all the glue, that's just a spot of glue, is kind of removed. So you can kind of see where we're kind of all white. There might be a little dark showing through. A couple of places might seem a little dark. I'm not going to let that bother me. Once I use my bloom sprays, it's going to kind of all blend right in. So I'm going to grab my box. Y'all know I spray in a box so I don't destroy my, oh, sorry about that. I don't want to destroy my computer with the sprays, so I want to just grab my box, and I'm going to give this a quick spray with my heat tool. I'm sorry, a quick dry with my heat tool. So bear with me just a second while I just give this a quick dry. And we are almost done. This is a really fast project. I am going to go in at the end. I have these rub-ons, and I'm going to add a few of the rub-ons. This is a Kaiser Craft rub-on called Violet Crush. So I'm going to add a few of these when I'm done to give it a little title and add a few extra accents. This is not helping my glue here, so I don't want to leave the heat there for a long time, because once you spray your heat, once you spray or you add your heat, you actually heat your glue back up, and you may get some shifting. So give that just a minute to cool down, and then we're going to start the spraying process. Make sure I'm totally in the camera's view here. I think I moved my camera. I'm going to have to turn this around so I can see the actual screen. And I'm hoping I don't totally destroy my computer with all these sprays. I'm going to be using 5 sprays. I've got Glistening Waves. I've got Storm Cloud. These are all Prima Color Bloom sprays. I've got the Sorbet. I've got Peony or Better Peony. And I've got Sunshine. So I've got all 5 of these sprays that I want to use tonight. And I'm going to start from the outside. I kind of went in a diagonal across. And I'm going to start with the outside corners. And I'm going to actually start by using the Storm Cloud. I like that little bit of gray mixed with these bright colors. It helped with the little darkness I'm getting from the actual metal pieces, where it's not totally covered or where it's not totally absorbed the actual gesso. And this is pretty dry to the touch, so we're pretty okay to start spraying. And you can see I'm just going to kind of spray starting in the corners with the the actual storm cloud. Just kind of a little bit in both corners. Just kind of diagonally away from one another. It's going to be our first color. And between sprays, just want to dry it just a minute. And this may be where this kind of slow dryer drives me crazy. But we'll see how fast. Since it does heat up pretty good, let's just see how great Mr. Tim's tool really is. But you can see I'm just going to dry these kind of between. It's pretty saturated, and I just want to give it a quick dry. You can always like dab some off if you want to take a baby wipe or a paper towel. If you don't like the actual puddles that it's caused, you can go in and dab a little off, and that helps it too to dry a little bit better. Helps a little bit of your white to kind of show through. But I want these pretty colored, so I'm going to go in while I'm drying and just give it another spray. Sometimes layering these sprays really helps it to give you that depth of color. So I'm kind of about adding those layers, and I'm going to move my telephone so that I do not spray my phone. Okay, and then the next color I'm going to go in with is actually the peony, or the peony color. So this is drying pretty well, and it doesn't have to be totally dried between colors, but you just don't want it to muddy it up. You want layers of color, you don't want mixings of colors. So because you want to keep that distinct 5-color shading here. So just, you know, give it a good dry as much as you can between sprays, and don't let it run together a whole lot. So next I'm going to go in with the peony, or the peony. Just going to give it just a, and you can kind of see my center here is still pretty dry. You can see my metals are coloring, so are still pretty white, not necessarily dry, but they're still pretty white. So just layering these colors up. You can see this is it's kind of bright right now. We're going to go in. We'll tame that color down just a little bit in a minute with the sorbet. And you want to kind of spray against this. You know, you're kind of not going to go in just one direction. You might want to turn your actual project upside down and spray this angle too, so that you're getting color on all sides. So just another layer of the peony here, and just continue to dry. And what time are we getting to now? We got about 15 minutes, so I think we're still good. You can see I'm just drying, and I know it's like watching paint dry is not a fun thing to be doing, but I'm sorry about that. It's got to be dried, so we are drying. Okay, when it's kind of tacky to the touch, when it's no longer puddled up or running, you can go ahead and add your next layer of color. So the next color that I want to add right down the center is the sunshine color. Well, I've actually got the sorbet color, so I want to add the sunshine color. And this is a pretty light yellow color. It's a bright color, but it's not as saturated a color. So we're going to layer on top of that. So right now we've just got the 3, but you'll see in just a minute where we're going to bring in. And I'm actually going to spray a little bit of this sunshine kind of all over to kind of calm down that peony just a little, or that peony. I continue to say peony. I'm kind of cracking myself up, but it just comes natural. So just give that a little bit of a dry. And I like using these bloom sprays, but I love a watercolor effect. And when you spray them like this, it sort of gives you that watercolor feel to me. So that's kind of why I like doing them this way. And I like the layers because I like the depth of color that you get. So I'm going to try to look at the chat to see what you guys are saying while I am drying these. If I can get this chat to work properly. Okay, I see. Oh, Pam was here. Hey Pam, night Pam, you're in and out. So y'all can see I'm still just drying away. So bear with me. I want this pretty dry. It can be a little sticky, but you can see I'm going to go ahead and add now. I want to go in with the sorbet, and the sorbet color is kind of an orangey yellow. It's a really pretty bright color, so I want to go in and add it right on top. And you may think I'm totally covering up that yellow sunshine, but in reality it's not covering it. It's just kind of adding another layer on top of it. So it's just helping build those layers of, and I want to kind of spray from this side so that I've got color bloom on that side of my adornments as well, because you don't want a white area just to one side. You want to be sure to cover all of it. And this is puddled up pretty good, but I kind of want this to run, just sort of dry a little bit richer in some areas. And when it's kind of puddled up, as it dries from the heat, you'll get a real nice variation of shade in there. So that's kind of what I like. And especially in the metal pieces, it kind of goes into the crevices and builds those layers of just different tones of that color. It's just really pretty in person. But you can see I'm drying this pretty good. I'm going to go in next with, if I don't drop it, I'm going to go in with the glistening waves, because I want to add a little bit of the blue. And the glistening waves, I love the blue in the glistening waves, and I love the soft teal. And Prima has come out with 5 new colors of the bloom sprays as well. So as soon as they reach the stores, hopefully Alda will get some of the new ones in stock when they're available to buy. They were really pretty. Did a few projects for CHA using them. And where I want to put the actual blue is kind of next to the peony color on both sides. I want to just kind of blend it in. And this is a new bottle, so I need to remove my cap. And since this is a new bottle, I'm going to kind of get it started just off to the side. So what I want to do is just add just a little bit, kind of on both sides. And I'm going to go back in with my paper towel. I don't really want the puddles with the actual blue. I just kind of want it there sort of subtly. And I can go back in like in a couple of areas to make it a little bit darker. If you want to totally remove it, just dab it while it's still wet, and you'll remove it like right back down to your original color. If you use a baby wipe, you can remove even more. I'm kind of taking too much off, so I want to add a little more. And I've never done 2 projects alike, so you always get a little bit of variation in your spray. I don't mind that, because I like for each project to kind of be original to themselves. I want to go in with a little more of the yellow now, just because it's a light color. It's really good to sort of mix in to kind of give it a blended effect, so that you feel like it's all kind of meshed and blended. I want to add on the corners a little bit more of the gray. Then I'm going to give it a dry. And you can kind of see from my original sort of, kind of how it is. The colors kind of mixed, and that's kind of what's happening here. Just a little bit, they kind of blend together, but you can still sort of pick out your definite colors. The blue and the yellow kind of give you that little bit of green, which I like, because we didn't really have that shade of green to use. But because we mixed the blue and the yellow, then we're also going to get a green in here too. And that's sort of what I was going for. I wanted the green, but I didn't have the exact green color of spray that I wanted. So by mixing them, it helped me achieve that, adding them both while they were wet. So just dry this up really good. And we are just about ready to add our rub-ons. I'm going to add a little blue just right through here, just a little bit of extra blue. Give that a little dry. Don't want big puddles, just want to add a little bit more of my pink back in. I just want to be sure that all my colors are represented here, that everything is kind of showing. So, and I think I'm about happy with this like it is. Maybe a little more pink up in that area. You see that's mixing with the storm cloud just a little, giving us a little bit deeper version of that pink. That peony color is really bright. It's a really bold color. Just drying this up, and that's going to be it for our color. Want to be sure that our frame didn't shift, and be careful too, because this is going to make this metal really hot. So be careful if you go back in to touch it. You're not touching a piece of the metal that's just really too hot. It will burn a blister. I know that from experience. Okay, it's just about dry, so we can move on. I may go 5 minutes over. Y'all bear with me just a few minutes, please, and let me finish this up. It's going to have to be really careful too, because this glue is heating back up, and I don't want to pull our pieces off. So between each time you heat, be sure to let it dry. Again, be aware that your glue is going to be a little wet, so let it dry. And I'm just dabbing this with the paper towel. It's pretty dry. I just want to kind of see how sticky it is. I think it's doing pretty good. Okay, so I think that's doing pretty good. So I want to just kind of pull it out, remove our box. Bear with me just a second while I get this box behind me. But you can see how the piece kind of came together. Put the top on our glue. Now what I want to do is grab my rub-ons, and I'm also going to grab some little pearl pieces. I know Alda's got some pearls in the store. I do not know where my flat pack of pearls are, so I just grabbed one of these flourishes that I've destroyed, cutting pearls off of it. So I'm going to use that. But I do know Alda does have a pack of pearls over in the store, and they're in different sizes, so they really are nice to use. I actually want to grab the pack I've already been using, and this has got some little word phrases on it and some little images. So what I'm going to do, I want to use the word perfect moments. So I'm going to just grab my little cutter base scissors, and be careful not to touch the back of these rub-ons too much, because they will come off on your fingers. These are very sticky rub-ons. They're really nice. Kaisercraft does a good job with their rub-ons. So just be careful. I know I want that I know I want that word phrase, because I'm going to add that there kind of for our title. I want to grab a few of these flowers. If I can keep this in camera, I'm going to grab a few of these little flowers. So I'm going to just kind of cut those out. And I'm just going to cut out what I want to actually use and just kind of place them around. I'm going to cut out a few butterflies. I know I want to use a few of the butterflies. So I'm going to cut those out, and I'm just going to cut out the pieces that I want. So y'all bear with me. You can do a lot more of these. I kind of just want this black spread around a little bit. So I'm going to do just a few of these. How about we have a butterfly right about here. And these rub-ons are going to stick really well to our, even though we have stenciling, they're still going to stick really well. So just want to kind of lay these around where I want them. I have one probably right about, I think I actually put one right above the title here. Let's add one right about here. Gonna grab a few of these little shapes here. I like these little, I'm not sure what they are, what kind of shapes they are, but I like them. They're little flower shapes maybe. I like them just to kind of add here or there. You can see. No, I'm specifically adding these to move that black around the page. So you do want to kind of strategically place these so that you do sort of spread the, kind of balance the black out. I want to get another one of these little flowers, maybe a couple of these flowers here. It's just that little extra thing that you do that just adds that little extra detail that makes it really pretty. And people look at your project and are like, what is that? How did you do that? And that's kind of what you like. You want to be sure that you've paid attention to the details. So that one goes kind of under there. I want it kind of peeking out from behind there. If I can get it where I want it. I'm going to place all these where I want them, and then I'm just going to go in with my tool and rub them all down. So let's add this one. Let's see, maybe here. And then we want a few more of these little babies here. I think I'm done with the butterflies. I think the 2 butterflies is enough for me. So just kind of cut these apart. And if you see this later after the show, I may, there's no telling, I may go in and add more. But you do them like you think you can live with them for sure. But I just kind of want them all over. I want it really balanced and kind of all over. I want my title kind of lined up pretty straight. So I kind of like that right there. I want to put these butterflies back on the packaging because I don't want to lose them. I want to use them for another project. So we've got that. I'm going to grab my rub-on tool, and first I'm going to rub on my title. And like I said, these are really good rub-ons. They rub off and they work really well. But you still want to be sure that you're adding enough pressure to get all of the actual print off of the paper so that you've added your entire image. I just kind of lift with my scissors to be sure, kind of lift kind of slow to be sure that it's all. See my P. I'm gonna line that back up. The P did not quite come off, so let me line that up and rub that just in that area there. What I want to do is rub the little butterfly and just be sure, kind of in a circular motion, rub him all off. And you've got plenty of extra little pieces on this, so if you happen to destroy one, you can always go in and repair him or add on top of him another piece to fix it. So just going to add these. Okay, and I'm not going to, just for time purposes, I'm not going to rub every one of these off. Y'all kind of get the gist of what I'm doing here. And you can rub these kind of with your scissors, so you're kind of getting the gist of where I'm putting all these. The last thing that I did is I used these pearls, and I also used a pearl pen, and I have these in a lot of colors. I've got the paper pens and the pearl pens, and so you can use these as well as your pearls to make little pearl shapes. And I want to just kind of make sure it's making my little pearls. Just kind of go in a few areas. I like the idea of using the silver or the gray color. And I'm adding these in the centers of these little diamond shapes, just to sort of, again, another little detail to kind of accent that. And just sort of spreading these around, just sort of giving myself a little more balance here or there for something, for a little more detail. Y'all, just, it's all in the details. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Just be sure and add your extra little details. Sometimes the simplest thing can be so noticeable on your artwork when you've just paid attention to the details. So what I do on these little things when I actually cut up my little flourishes, this thing is 100 years old. Totally exaggerating that, but it's old. And I just like the idea of being able to use these kind of in a different way. So just going to add these around the page, kind of in as centers on the metal pieces, or you can just add them just like you did the paper pen, just in the centers, and you can use the tiny ones or the larger ones or whatever. I like the idea of sort of adorning this this little butterfly, so I'm going to use a few on the actual butterfly, the little flower shape that's here. I'm going to put one in the center, and then I'm going to put a few small ones kind of around the outside. And I don't totally have to finish that on camera. That's, y'all kind of get the gist of that as well. You kind of see where I'm going with that. You can kind of see by putting those there, it adds that little bit of extra detail when you add that all around. So there you have it. That is our project for tonight. You'll want to go, and of course I'm going to rub all these rub-ons on and finish those up and add my photo. But that's it. That is our project for tonight, and I really do hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm going to grab my phone and see how my time's looking. Whew, I'm good. I'm 3 minutes over, but let me go ahead and turn you back around and pan up so you can see me. Here I am. I've taken my glasses off, so let me put my glasses back on so I can see the chat and see if I can actually read the chat. I want to show y'all one more time what the finished project is going to kind of look like when you're done. You can see those rub-ons in there, and all those metals and all those colors you can kind of see. So that's going to be our project. I am so glad y'all joined me. Thank you so much. Oh, you are so welcome, Lydia. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I really enjoy doing this, and we have fun every week. I have a lot of fun. I have fun teaching the classes, but I think I have more fun when I get to play with y'all in the chat. So I feel like I miss so much when I don't get to chat with you. So I look forward to next week when Song's going to be with us. So y'all be sure to come back, same time, same place. Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, we're going to be here. And don't forget, if you want to recreate this, please share it with us on live, or actually on Flying Unicorns Facebook page. Let us see kind of what you're creating, and let us know that you're recreating from these shows. We'd love to see it. It would make us all happy. And the ones of us teaching, it's an encouragement to see that you're actually enjoying the shows. So anyway, thanks thanks everybody for joining me, and I will see y'all next week. Night, everybody. Bye-bye.